We have Mr. Mike Cameron. He's the president and co-owner of Devil's River Whiskey. It's a bourbon whiskey, small batch Texas bourbon whiskey. That's a lot to talk about.
Is that a real river, by the way?
It is.
It
It is a real river, south of Sonora, Texas.
Oh, I know where that is.
And on the southern end, we harvest water out of that river to make our whiskey.
Love it. So what got you into this whiskey bourbon game?
Used to do home distilling and home brewing for many years. And
Like moonshine stuff?
Moonshine.
Yeah, pretty much. It was illegal back then, but I tried to make it legit. And, And been in the business for about 12 years now.
Awesome. So talk about what this type of bourbon. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know a lot about the brown liquors, but what makes it a bourbon or whiskey? What's the difference, and how do you create?
An easy way to remember is all bourbons are whiskeys, but all whiskeys are not bourbons.
All right, explain that.
There's roughly so there's roughly 30 different whiskeys out there, probably types of whiskeys. I mean, you got Canadian, Irish, Scottish, corn whiskey, bourbon whiskey, spirit whiskey. So there's lots of different categories, flavored whiskeys.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bourbon whiskey. The unique thing about bourbon is it's truly an American spirit. The United States owns the name bourbon whiskey. No other country can make bourbon except the U.S.
So it's kind of like tequila. Mezcal is outside of the tequila region, or like champagne. Anything outside of
Cognac,
champagne.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Same thing.
Stuff. Gotcha. Well, now it makes sense, and Bobby now is.
I was going to answer for him, but I felt bad.
Bobby's totally lost, but we'll catch him.
That was established by Congress in 1964 into law, so it's actually a law that has to be followed. So it's kind of neat.
I love it. So talk about where you actually make this stuff, and what are some key ingredients what really separates you from some of the other bourbon whiskeys out there?
Sure. So our facility is in Dallas, Texas currently. Our mash bill is 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. Most bourbons are about 7 to 10% rye. We double up on the rye, which rye is a spicy flavor, spicy note. And it also adds a complexity to the overall flavor profile of the bourbon. So that's why I chose to go with so much rye.
Gotcha. And so so that makes it better then, I guess.
Well,
or smoother.
It makes it great for mixologists. They really like it because it blends so well with making cocktails at a cocktail bar. By having that extra rye. Rye is just a great flavor-forward profile, but with its spiciness.
Gotcha.
I just like the fact that it's 90 proof. Most whiskeys are 80 proof, so it's a little bit higher proof than most whiskeys.
So explain that to Bobby, because Bobby's never had a drink in his life.
So
he
alcohol,
acts like it.
So alcohol, most alcohol is 40% alcohol, which just double that number to figure the proof. So Jack Daniel's, let's say, is 40% alcohol, 80 proof. Ours is 45% alcohol, 90 proof. We actually I brought some barrel strength today, which is 117 proof, which you've never drank before. It'd be a good thing to try.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been meaning to start.
Yeah, I bet.
People are always surprised how they make the comment, gosh, this is so smooth, I can't believe it's 90 proof. And it's because we use a proprietary chill filtration process, which makes it smoother. Don't take away flavor, but we take away some of the harshness that you get with some of the other whiskeys that are out there.
And where can you buy your product?
We're all over. We're in 11 states now. We're in every retailer in Texas. Any retailer you can think of, we should be in a lot of on-premise accounts, restaurants and bars that support us, and so pretty much a lot of places.
Talk about that proprietary way that you make it, and and just talk about it.
He wants you to give away your secrets.
I'm trying not to, but
well, not to get too technical, but
but
alcohol in its pure form, bourbon in its pure form, sometimes it's a little harsh, especially if it's higher.
That's
proof.
why I don't drink it.
Yeah. So to soften it up, we use what's called diatomaceous earth, and it's a natural organic product, and we drop the temperature down to about 25 to 27 degrees, and that causes the distillate to coagulate. We then filter out those protein chains, which in some of those are harsh alcohol overtones like methyl alcohol. And as a result, the end result is smoother whiskey, but we don't take away flavor. That's the important.
So it has the flavor of some of your better tasting whiskey, but it's not as harsh.
That's right.
Going down.
You don't get that whiskey face or whiskey burn.
Yeah, the whiskey face is what I always try to avoid. Yeah, not attractive. So how are people actually tasting this in the San Antonio, or since your distillery is out in Dallas?
We do samplings all over the place. We did, in the last 12 months, we've done about 1,400 samplings.
Wow.
So we're literally out there every day at some package store or a restaurant or bar doing samplings with promotion companies. And we say we've got to get liquid to lips to grow the brand. So
definitely,
you got to let them try it.
Sure. And what's on the horizon for the company? What's the next step here?
Well, exciting news. I live here in San Antonio, and I'm kind of tired of driving up to Dallas all the time. So we are moving our production facility, a part of our production facility, to downtown. We're going to be right across the street from the Buckhorn Saloon on Houston Street.
Oh, I know where that is. Yeah.
We just signed a lease.
Are you by the Children's Museum or the old Children's
Museum? Yeah, by the old Children's Museum. That's the old. Yeah, that's a couple of about a block down.
Because I needed bourbon when I was going to.
Right. So it's right there at the corner, and I thought, what a better place to be than downtown San Antonio. I walked around and talked to some local, business owners, and I said, on a weekend, tell me about the group of people that are down here. I says, how many are from San Antonio or are from somewhere else? And they all said 95% of the people are from somewhere else.
For sure.
On the weekend. So what a better way to get our name out there to not other cities, but other states, other countries.
I mean, you're literally skipping distance from the Alamo.
We're a block and a half from the Alamo and 1 block from the Riverwalk.
Is it going to be set up to where somebody can walk your facility and see how it's made?
Absolutely. We're going to do about 5 barrels of production a day.
Just to show people how to do it, or how you all do it?
Yeah. No, we'll actually be bottling that on the grounds, and we'll have a tasting room, and we'll have events. And so it'll be tours and tastings, and we'll sell bottles, and we'll sell cocktails, and we're allowed to do that with some special legislation that we got passed.
I love it. So for more information, if you're not a bourbon drinker or you are a bourbon drinker, you want to try one that seems like it's going to be a lot less harsh, check out Devil's River Bourbon Whiskey. You can get it at, I'm assuming, Specs and Gabriel's and, W&B and every other place that you get some liquor, or check them out at some different restaurants, or pretty soon on Houston Street, we'll have a distillery downtown San Antonio. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and be a fan of our show at BobbyandJJRadio.com.